But once I get here, even if there's signal right, I'm just going to carry on. Go into the lane nice and early. And then I position myself all the way to the right. I'm going to show you how to drive so you can pass your test first time. Let's go. And make sure I put my seatbelt on. Do my mirrors. So normally on your test, this would be done already, but my mirrors were a bit messed up just there because I was fixing my camera. But right now I'm in a really tight spot, and as you can see, there's a van on my left here. So when I come out of here, I need to do it really carefully so that I don't get in anyone's way. So doing my checks all around as well, and then come out slowly using my clutch control, just creeping out really slowly, looking out for any reflections of cars moving from this side. And notice I'm going really slow with my clutch because I want to do this super slow. There's barely any space here. On your test, you're not going to get asked to start off like this unless you parked like this yourself. But most of the time, you're going to have enough space to move out comfortably. Okay, so because there's a fence on this side over here, like a barrier, I'm going to come out a bit and then reverse and then make my turn. So make sure I do my checks. Very tight spot. There's also something on there, that yellow thing that you can see. I want to make sure I don't hit that. Do my checks again in reverse, look around. So very, very smooth clutch control here, otherwise you are going to go too fast and hit something. Okay, so now I can turn right, checking all over, checking my left and my right before I come out. Then as I come out, I go straight to the left side. I can see on the floor it says 20, and I'm going to keep it around below 20 miles per hour. Okay, so even though it's 20, I don't want to do 20 right now because there's a bend here. So I'm just going to ease off the gas, have my foot around the brake because I can't really see anything around this corner here. And I've also checked my right mirror there because you see the lanes have now gone into one lane where there were two lanes before. Now it's one. So you always want to make sure you check in whenever the space gets smaller. Okay, got a zebra crossing here, so I'm just going to go a bit slower, but I can see there's no one really around, so I can carry on. There is a bus ahead of me there. I want to go around him, so I'm going to check my mirror on this side. No need for a signal because everyone's going to know that I need to go around the bus anyway. And then check my left mirror before I go back towards the left. So constantly looking out for the signs. Here it's saying 20 miles per hour again, and we've got zebra crossing ahead of us as well. I'm going to turn left at the end here, so mirror, mirror, signal left, and I can see there's a giveaway line there. So let me go into first because there's a big lorry coming from that side over there. If there was no one there, I could have carried on in second, but there were people there. There was a big lorry coming, or if I couldn't see, then I would have gone into first gear as well. Okay, so constantly looking on the ground for markings, looking ahead as well. I can see the sign for 20 again, and I can see a zebra crossing. So the mistake that lots of learners make on this kind of situation is they're only focusing really far ahead and in a really narrow space. When you're driving, check around you, check behind you, check the sides as well. So right now I'm looking from like where the bus stop is all the way to the fence over there because I don't want to miss any signs that are in that area. A lot of learners, they're only focusing on the road itself, and then they'll miss that mini roundabout sign, for instance, because they're not looking to that side, they're only looking in the road. So make sure that you're looking everywhere. In here, checking the right hand side, it's looking good, so I can carry on. I'm looking at this bus's signal, but once I get here, even if there's signal right, I'm just going to carry on because I don't need to wait for them. We're going to be turning right at the lights, so I position myself towards the right from early, and you notice I'm not rushing to get there, I'm just taking my time. And then my mirror, mirror, signal right, adjust my mirror a little bit more, braking gently, and then here, clutch down. And because the light's been red for a while, I'm going to go into first straight away, just so that I'm ready for when it changes to green. And when I'm here, I'm looking for the cars on this side for when they stop. Like this car stopped, you guys can't see it, but there's a car there that stops now, which means there's a strong chance that our one's going to go green soon. And when those guys stop as well, that's going to be a bigger indicator that ours is going to go green soon. So you see that car stopping on the left, so there's a chance our one's going to change soon. Yeah, so get the gas on, biting point. Checking my mirror on my left as well, just in case anybody's used that wrong lane to turn left. And then I'm going to aim straight for the right. So normally you'd aim for the left lane when you're turning like this, but here I'm aiming straight for the right because I want to turn right, third exit at the next roundabout. Okay, so if you know already that you're going to turn somewhere, it's much easier to position yourself in that lane nice and early. So now I'm in the right lane to turn right, so mirror, mirror, signal. I'll approach it in second because I don't want to approach this in third. I can see it's clear after this white van, so then I can make my move into the roundabout. And then this is where people get a bit lost, but you see that marking there on the floor, that lane there on the floor is for the going further past the third exit, but this one takes us to our exit, and I can signal left now, but I don't want to go across this hatch line because that's for people that are in that lane over there. Okay, I cancel my signal now that I'm off the roundabout. So now it's 2 lanes. I'm thinking about going into the left lane. Okay, but I'm braking early because there's cars stopping ahead of me. So mirror, mirror. I was gonna go into the left lane, but then further down I can see there's a lorry parked in the left lane. So it doesn't really make sense to do that. So I'll just keep it in second. Hopefully these guys will move. So because it's a Pelican crossing, it's gonna go to green after the flashing amber, so I know I can carry on. And you notice that car on the opposite side stopped even though the light was flashing amber. You don't want to do that. If it's flashing amber and there's no pedestrians, keep moving. Don't need to stop, okay? Treat it the same way as the green light. Okay, so everyone ahead is slowing down. Check my mirror as well so I can slow down too. Yeah, so if there's lots of parked cars like this on the left, don't bother using the left lane because you're going to be constantly going in and out, in and out. But now I can see it's a bit clearer. Mirror, mirror, signal left. And now I can use the left lane. Next traffic lights, I'm turning right, so mirror, mirror, signal right. Go into the lane nice and early. And then I position myself all the way to the right from here. Yeah, don't wait until you get over here to start moving to the right. Position yourself nice and early. And I can see there's lots of cars ahead of me, so in here I can actually go into neutral, put my handbrake on. You don't have to do it like this, but it just makes it easier to rest your feet, especially when you know that there are a few cars ahead of you and no one's going anywhere because the light is still red for us. But now that the light is changing to green for us, I can go into first, handbrake down, clutch to the biting point, a bit of gas. I'm going to go into second here because I'm doing the right speed for second. Keeping it now on the light, it's still green for us. Check my mirrors, check for these pedestrians as well, make sure none of them do anything crazy, and they were still waiting, so that was fine. So roundabout, I'm going to go straight towards Wembley. So I'm still in second. Got my foot near the clutch in case I need to stop, but I don't need to because these guys have moved. It's a kind of a biggish roundabout, so I'll signal left to come off just to let people know where I'm going. In case there's anyone there waiting, they know that I'm coming off this exit. And cancel it once I'm off. Going to first here because it's very, very narrow here, so like a width restriction. So I'm going to go slowly through here, checking both sides. Once I'm through, add a bit more gas into second, and then I can carry on. So this kind of road, you can see it's a little bit tight. Yeah, it's a little bit tight, so I'm not going to go fast through here. I'm checking my side as well, make sure I've got enough space. I'm giving these guys quite a bit of room as well because you can see on their side there's not enough room for them and they're using our lane a little bit. So to make it easier for everyone, I'm just going to make sure I'll go a bit more to the left without going too close to the curb. Yeah, just keeping it nice and slow, no need to rush. Just under 20 at the moment, especially with the speed bumps as well. And then now it's a bit clearer. I can start thinking about doing 20. Easing off the gas for the speed bump. So don't forget with the speed bumps, they're quite easy to see, especially if you're looking out for them. If you see those little triangles on the floor, the little white triangles, those are put on speed bumps. So make sure you're looking out for those and then slow down enough before you get there so that you don't go over the speed bump too fast or brake really hard too late. Yeah, so just like here, it's going a bit downhill, so I'm going to use my braking a little bit just to slow it down. And then once I go over, add more gas. Not too much though, because remember the whole point of these speed bumps is to slow people down. Yeah, so again, brake a bit, and then off the brake, add some gas. Okay. Well, the mistake that you see some people doing on this kind of road is they will go like this and then use lots of gas, and then they have to brake really hard for the speed bump to go over it smoothly. Don't do it like that. Just gently apply the gas, so that way it's nicely controlled and is driving in a smooth way. So this van on the left on the right has to wait for me. Okay, so now it's a bit clearer. There's no speed bumps anymore. I can still see a sign on the floor saying slow, but you don't have to go really slow here. Those kind of signs, just look at them and think it says careful. Rather than it saying slow, think of it as it's saying be careful or caution. You don't have to go really slow whenever you see those signs, but you do have to pay more attention because usually there's something coming up. Okay, I can see a sign here for, let me ask you guys, what does that sign mean there? Put it in the comments below, what does that sign mean? And if you're doing a theory test anytime soon and you're having some issues, even if you're not having issues, make sure you join us on our private group. I'll put the link in the description so you guys can see that. But we have lots of people passing their test all the time with us, and if you're having your test in the UK or theory test in the UK, make sure you at least check out that link and see how we're helping people just like you to pass their theory tests. Okay, so here it's a bit tight here, and the obstruction is on my side, so the lorry's blocking my lane and I can't fit with those cars coming through. So I'm just gonna wait here for a second, and then once I can see a nice enough gap, I'll make my move. Even now there's a car coming, I'm not gonna rush to do this. Yeah, so now there's a bit more space, I'll check around and then I'll go around it. Yeah, so the motorbike has got lots of space to go around, and then now I can go into second. Another car, this time it's a bit different because we've got both, our lanes are both blocked here. Yeah, so we've got the van blocking their lane and the car blocking our lane. So this way no one's got priority really, but we got there first so we can go before the other cars. Yeah, turning right here, so it's a bit of a steep hill, so I'll go into first and then get my biting point with the gas on. Because that car wasn't indicating, the one that was like the second car, I waited a bit because I wasn't sure. It looked like they were going straight, so you can't just assume they're going to turn left. You have to trust what the signals are telling you, and there it was telling us that it's going to go straight, so therefore that's why I paused a little bit before I went. So we've got the lights changing to flashing amber now. And what type of crossing is this, guys? Let me know what type of crossing this is. And whoever gets it right, I'll choose one winner to win a prize. Okay, let's carry on now. So because it was flashing, we can carry on. We can treat it the same as green, as long as there's no one crossing the road. Even if people are waiting to cross, you can carry on driving. Okay, then we've got this one, which is zebra crossing. So check my center mirror, and I can see I'm braking a bit because I want to make sure it's safe here. There's no one really crossing, so then I can carry on. And this road is 20, and it can be quite tempting here to go really fast because you can see it's nice and open, but don't do that. You're gonna get a serious fault if you do that. So you want to make sure, even if someone's behind you getting really close or going kind of fast, just stick to 20 or below the whole time. And while you're doing that, you're still looking out for any signs that might change the speed limit, because you don't want to be going into a 30 and then not realizing and then going too slow the whole time. If you're doing your driving test soon, remember these changes that they've made to the driving test. So one of them is that, so the first change is that they're going to be driving on fast roads for a lot longer than before. So make sure you get used to driving on fast roads like dual carriageways and country roads. Secondly, they're going to do less stops during the test. So before you'd have done about 4 stops and then you drive on again, they've reduced that down now to 3. And the emergency stop is going to be less frequent, so you're less likely to get the emergency stop, but it's still worth knowing how to do that. So make sure you still practice it. If you want to know how to do the emergency stop properly, check this video out as well. And also, they're going to do the independent driving in a more flexible way, which means they could do the whole driving test doing independent driving. So make sure you are good at independent driving, because that could become part of the whole test. Here I'm going to go into first because everyone's stopped there, so then I can carry on. I want to be in the left lane of these 2 lanes there to go straight on. So I'm just going to check my mirrors and then position myself here, keeping an eye on the light, make sure that it still stays green, and it does. And then when I go through here, it's changing to amber, but I'm already going through, so it doesn't make sense stopping. But I am checking my mirror, make sure there's no one cutting in front of me there as I'm making my way through. Okay, coming into a stop here, and I can see there's a car on my right. They're in the right lane for turning right, but now they've indicated left, which means they've probably changed their mind and they want to use this lane. So I'm not going to block them or try to force them to stay in that lane. I'm just going to keep a distance so that they know that they have space to come in, and then that way it's easier for all of us. And then checking my mirror as I'm going through here. Check it again, check this side too. Yeah, once you get used to checking your mirrors a lot, driving for you is going to become a lot safer and a lot easier as well, because you can see what's happening before it happens, and it's going to be less scary too. Going up this hill, I'm not going to go into third here because it's a bit steep. If I go into third right now, the car's going to struggle. And then over the hill, maybe even stretching a bit to see what's over the hill. I'm going to control the speed with my brake going down this hill so I don't go too fast. And then I can see a sign for a roundabout, mini roundabout coming up, but I don't think it is a mini roundabout unless there was a roundabout here before. So this is the roundabout in question here. So I'm going to check my mirror, signal left, position myself in the left lane, check the side nice and early, there's nothing coming from there, and then cancel my signal, making sure I keep an eye on the zebra crossing as well, but there's no one there. At the traffic lights, I'm going to be turning right, so I'm going to position myself. I was going to position myself to the right early, but then that car was coming through, so I'll give them some space, and then now I can go into that lane. So you want to look at what other people are doing as well. So that car was going around the bus, so it made sense for me to give them a bit of room, and then afterwards I had lots of room to go back into the right lane. Now, this car should be stopping, so then I can make my turn, checking my right mirror, aiming for the left lane, and I can see the sign for 20. So with these kind of situations, always look ahead. So I can see the bus coming. Oh, sorry, the bus stopped, but I can see a car down the road over there. I'm keeping an eye on the bus's signal. I'm also keeping an eye on that car down there as well. And I'm not going to risk it, because if I go around the bus, I might get in the way of that car. So it makes sense just to wait here for them. Okay, so now that everyone's moving, I can carry on now. Okay, zebra crossing again. But no one there. And this one, I can see a zebra crossing and I can see people near it. So I'm just going to reduce my speed a bit. This person on the left is not by the zebra crossing, so I don't have to wait for them. But these people here are by the zebra crossing, so I'm going to brake. Going to first. Taking a bit long to decide whether to cross or not, but now they've crossed. And once these people have gone, I'm going to think about moving, but I'm also keeping an eye on those guys on the left as well. But it looks like they're going straight, so then I can start moving. Yeah, so it's just about being patient, looking at the pedestrians and seeing what they're actually doing before you make a move. This one's on a speed bump, so I'm just going to brake so it's not too rough. So you've got this lorry trying to overtake the bus at the bus stop. The mistake that lots of learners make here is they'll try to follow the lorry when they're going around, but don't do that. I can't see what's around this lorry, so it doesn't make sense me following them in case there's something coming towards us there. So instead, I'm going to give myself some space. Once I can see, then I'll think about going around, but it doesn't make sense now because the bus is already indicating to come out. So that's why you don't want to just follow the person in front of you. Think about it first. Make sure you can see clearly ahead of you before you make that decision to move. So now the bus is stopping on the left. I'm going to give myself lots of room. I can see there's a reflection of a light coming down the road there, so I'm going to take my time here. But then once I can see, I was going to go around him, but then you see he indicated right straight away. I don't think anyone even came off the bus or went on the bus, so sometimes it happens like that. That's why you don't want to be in a rush to try to go around them. Just look at what's happening first and then make a decision. Going around, checking through here as well, because sometimes this pillar here will block your view, so you want to check this side as well. I'm checking my right. See there's a car behind me, and then there's also a car going round or coming past the bus. I'm going to first give them lots of room, and then once I can see it's safe, I'll start going around them. Yeah, and even if the indicated there, by the time I'm going around them, I've already committed, so I don't need to wait for them. And you sort of notice there's no indicator as well. Just check the mirror and go around. Okay, still saying 20 around here, so keeping my speed down. And we're going to turn left at the end here. So I'm going to check my center mirror, and then check my left mirror, and then around here I'll signal left now because there's a little entrance here. I'll signal left now and position myself towards the left. I'm still in second. See it's clear on that side, so I can carry on in second. And remember, it's here we can see the sign saying 30 there, but it's still 20 on this part here, so don't rush and then start doing 30 before you get to the sign, because that will be a fault, because it's before the 30 zone. But now in the 30 zone, I can increase my speed gradually, getting to third. I can see up ahead the lights are red, but hopefully by the time I get there they're going to be green. So I'm just going to ease off the gas a little bit and give these guys enough time to move, so that way I don't have to stop. And then that way, you see when I got here they're already moving, but the lights might change again to red, so I'm keeping an eye on it. But once I get around here, even if they start changing, I'm not going to stop. Always have a point of no return, so practice telling yourself that if I get to this point and the lights are still green, I'm going to carry on. Or if I get to this point and the lights start changing, I'll still carry on because it's too late to stop. That way you're not going to be caught off guard and you're going to be ready to stop or carry on without panicking. So thinking earlier about what the speed limit was, so the last one was 30, so I'm just going to keep it at around 25 now. And next traffic light, I'm going to be turning right. So remember, if you know you're turning right, don't go to the left side and then try to go to the right. Stick to the right nice and early. So even here, I'm keeping a bit more right, like around here, so that when the lanes split, like now, I can already just be on the correct side. I don't have to worry about going there and then signaling to come over here. I'm already in the correct side to be turning right. And I'll still signal here, even though we can only turn right from this lane, I will still signal. Okay, so once the lights goes green, into first gear, clutch up, get my gas onto the biting point, get my gas on, and then into second before the turn. So you don't have to wait until you turn to go into second. Practice going into second at the right time, even if it means before you make the turn. Once the RPMs are high enough, you should be thinking about going into the next gear up. Okay, we've got a roundabout coming up, and I can see the sign just after the roundabout saying 20, so I'm not going to rush to go fast here because we need to do the roundabout first anyway. Braking a little bit, and there's nothing on my right, so I can carry on. And because it's a slightly big one, I'll signal left and then cancel it when I come off. So bear in mind it said 20 there, so I'm just going to keep it around 20 miles per hour. These speed bumps are a bit different from the ones we had earlier. They're not as big and they're not as rough, so I can do around 20 comfortably over the speed bumps without feeling like the car's going to break to pieces. Yeah, and then this one here, check my mirror because I need to go a bit right because there's a pothole there, but now it's fine. So anytime you need to go left or right, just check the mirror first. Okay, now I'm going to turn left first exit this roundabout here, so mirror, mirror, signal left. I can see cars on the right over there, so I'm just going to reduce my speed even more, keep checking them. They're all going this way, so I don't just wait for them. I can carry on in second. But if there were more people coming towards me, I would have gone into first. Then here, check my right mirror, because these two lanes have now become one. You want to make sure you're spotting that. If you're missing those kind of things where lanes are coming in together as one, it's going to be difficult for you to drive safely, and it's going to be difficult for you to pass the test. Okay, so now we're in a car park. It says 5 there, but it's really difficult to do 5. So we're going to do like around 10 or a bit below, yeah. But here, because of the speed bump, I'll do like 5, because it's very high. And then don't hurt yourself trying to stick to 5 miles per hour in car parks, because it's quite difficult to do, and it's very, very slow. Unless obviously the car park is so narrow that you have to do it like that. But most of the times, this sort of speed here is fine. Okay, let me turn left here. Keeping it nice and slow. Yeah, I think we're going to do a forward bay park today. So hopefully we can see some nice parking spaces. Let me turn left again here. Checking my right again. Cancel my signal once I'm turned, because I don't want people thinking I'm going over here. Again, in car parks, be careful and go slowly, because people do walk out randomly sometimes. Okay, they've closed off this side. I wonder why. Okay, I can't turn there. Okay, let me turn this one here. So because this van is blocking the side that we've got to turn on, I'm going to turn on the wrong side. I have to, because otherwise if I don't, I'm going to crash into that van, okay? So sometimes you have to turn on the wrong side, and you notice that I use my clutch to go even slower, because if I was to bring my clutch up the whole time, it would have been difficult to control my speed. Just like here, I'm controlling my speed with a clutch, keeping it down, checking both sides, and I can see it's clear on either left and right, so I make my turn, keeping it nice and slow. Avoiding those trolleys over there. Okay, you might have to go to the multi-story car park, because here looks like it's quite busy. I think a lot of people don't like multi-story car parks because you have to go up the ramp. So even on the first level, you see the difference between multi-story car parks and other car parks. There's no one here. Yeah, so you can have way more room to play with. Let me signal first. Start nice and wide. Clutch control to make it nice and slow. And then once we get here, once we get in the bay, straighten up, clutch down and brake gently, handbrake on, neutral, and then that's done. I'm not sure if you can see me or not because it's quite dark in here, but thank you so much for watching. Make sure you guys subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.